Hi, this is Mark Vila with ColDesi and Digital Heat Effects, and I'm here with Hannah Rago. And we're going to do a demonstration on the digital heat effects and really give you your opportunity to create your first t-shirt.
Yeah.
So that's always fun, and it's a little bit nerve-wracking, right?
A little bit.
Yeah, you think you're going to mess up, but we wanted to give you a first-hand account of what it's like to see the system in action, so we'll go step by step. And then to see what it's like to do it your first time and just give you a nice perspective that it's not really that hard to do. There's a few instructions you have to follow, and if you do them right, you get an awesome looking shirt. So we've got a design coming out to print here any moment, and then we'll go ahead and get started. So Hannah, you've seen this before, but I'm going to explain to everyone out there watching kind of what we have here.
Sure.
So this transparency that we've printed out to, this is what we would refer to as our easy peel paper.
Okay.
This is a coated film that obviously you saw came out of the printer. When it's done though, it's not quite ready to go on a t-shirt yet. What we need to do is we need to add what's our polymer sheet. So essentially this is, in so many words, it's the adhesive that's going to adhere it to the shirt. So during this process, we do what we refer to as the marrying process. This is where we put some heat and some pressure onto these two sheets together. And we do that for a little bit, and then when it's done, we start to slowly peel it off. And as we peel it off, the adhesive or the polymer only sticks to where the toner is.
Right.
Now, this design's got a lot of little detail in it, so you know it's not a super easy one to do, but I know you can do it.
Right.
You've seen it done a few times, and if this is your first video, maybe it's the first time you're watching one, but you may have seen some other demonstrations online. This is not your first time seeing it either. So let's go ahead and get this done. I'm going to have you do all the steps though.
Okay.
So the first thing we do is we'll take that and we'll take the printed side and we're going to put it right onto our heat press with the toner facing up where we printed. And then you've got your polymer sheet, and you essentially center that right onto it.
How does that look?
It looks good. And usually what I'll do is I'll kind of just, you know, just make sure it's flat, that there's not like a big weird air bubble in the middle or something like that. And then we'll go ahead and we have our finishing sheet and we put that right on top. And then we'll close our heat press.
Alrighty.
And lock it down, and then we'll talk about it for a minute while this is going. So good, so we're all set there. So what's happening right now is we've got pressure and temperature being pushed there.
Okay.
Pushing together between those two sheets. Some chemical reactions are happening, and when we're done, we're gonna go ahead and open up our heat press and slide the drawer out, obviously, which is a really cool feature of this press. Some of you folks out there might already be doing some sort of heat transfers now, and you've got a clamshell press, which means that if you're going to be doing the work that we're doing with a clamshell style press, and if you don't know what that is, that's fine, you're looking at the one you want to use right now. But the clamshell press, you're actually working in the heat because you can't slide the drawer out. So the cool functionality of this type of a heat press is we're going to slide it out, and now you get to work on your area. We're going to grab the top corner or the bottom corner, whatever's comfortable for you, one hand on one and one hand on the other. And we're going to slowly kind of peel the two sheets apart. We're not going to rush through it, try to pull through it fast. It's not a race, but at the same time, we don't want it to cool off, so we want to do it while it's hot. So, you know, just a nice, slow, steady count. And just let it unmarry itself, really. You'll feel it. So open it up. Open it up all the way.
Okay.
There we go.
Now pull it out?
Yep.
All right.
And I'll get this out of your way.
Okay.
And now it's going to be hot, but that's okay. You grab, with one hand you grab one corner, with the other hand you grab the other corner.
Okay.
Just like that, and leave it on the platen. And just slowly give it a peel. Just like that. And then as you go, you're going to start to run out of room with this arm up here, right? Because your arm's only so long. So you can pull the other hand back too.
Okay.
So you can kind of simultaneously pull and push with one hand and the other hand. Yep, so pull with that hand, get a little bit more action going there.
There we go.
There you go. And kind of what I do is like this one hand's coming closer, the other. It's not too hard, but it's definitely weird. It's the first time you've done something, right? The first time you do anything, first time you drive a car and you hit those brakes, it feels really weird to stop a car. And I find this to be just like anything else. It feels weird at first, but once you do it, it's not too bad.
There we go.
Look at that.
All right. I probably went slower than you need to. Did I?
Well, a little bit, but you nailed it. So you got it just right. You got it perfect. You didn't leave any of your design behind. So, and it's really hard to tell here, but if you've never seen this before, I'll give you a little close-up view. You can see that some of the polymer has lifted off the sheet. And I know it's a little hard to see on the camera, but what we've done now is all the polymer that is where the toner is now behind the toner. That's gonna allow us to have it bond to the shirt. So let's go ahead and go to our next step. We're gonna trim this design up because we've got a few different t-shirts on this one sheet. This is our rotary trimmer, and what we use this for is to essentially cut up the pieces of our transfer whenever we've got multiple transfers on one sheet. The first thing that you want to do, Hannah, is we trim away the edges all the time. So we want to do that first. What can happen is a little bit of that polymer can get on the edge. And if you're doing a dark color t-shirt, it can transfer. So all we're going to do now is use the trimmer to trim off a little slice of the edge. And now we're going to go ahead and trim apart. We've got 4 different transfers here, is that right?
Right, yeah.
Okay. So we're back here at our heat press. We've got our trimmed and finished up transfers. And the next step we're going to do is go ahead and get them onto a shirt.
Alrighty.
So let's go ahead and grab your first shirt and tell me whose shirt is it?
Let's do baby.
Baby?
Shirt?
You want to do baby?
All right, let's
okay.
do baby shirt.
So you've seen this part's pretty self-explanatory, but you're going to put our shirt onto our heat press.
What about these buttons? They're fine?
So generally speaking, I don't like to have any type of buttons or anything like that sticking up onto my heat press.
Okay.
It can mean an uneven pressure when we're trying to transfer. So one thing you could do is you can hang it over like you've just done. And that's pretty good. I still don't even like that there are these heavy seams right here.
Okay.
So what I might do is use a sleeve leg platen for that. So how about I get that real quick? I actually changed my mind.
Okay.
I used a small, we have this little platen right here. So I'll go ahead and transfer this out for you, okay?
Okay.
This is actually really hot, and I've got just old hands that have held lots of hot things. But no, we unlock the platen right here, and we can actually lift the entire platen off this Fusion heat press. So it's a really cool function of it. And this thing has been used all day, so it's really hot right now. Okay.
Put it on top?
Put it right on top. And it kind of locks into place. You can't move it, and then you close it. And that's how easy. This is a really cool function of this heat press is you can swap just like that. The next thing we'll do is we're going to check our pressure.
Okay.
Because this is a different size platen, we want to make sure that it's actually going to touch when we close it.
Sure.
So slide it in and close it. Let's see if that works. So we're at a pressure of a 0.
Okay.
And that's a function of this heat press is that it can measure how much pressure it's putting down. We're going to want to go higher than that. We want a medium pressure. So lift it up, turn that pressure crank half a turn around maybe.
This way?
Yeah. And let's see where it is. Let's see if we can't get to a 4 or something like that. So 1, you're going to give it a good crank. 3, do 1 a little more.
All right.
There we go. Okay.
Woo.
So you've got the pressure adjusted. Now you can lift it up, and we're going to get our little onesie on this thing.
Alrighty.
So here. Now all these platens are threadable. Actually. So what that means is you can put the shirt in the platen inside of the shirt. So
Like
yep.
So. Oh.
And now, so what's cool about this is we can have those raised up part right here, and we have the buttons off and everything, so now you have a nice clean surface to put it on.
All right. Put Baby Shark on. Looks good.
Yeah. Now, typically what we do is you want like a couple inches from the top of anything. You don't want anything right up at the neck, but you don't want it on a belly. That looks weird too.
Yeah.
You know, so you want it kind of just up in the middle of the chest.
Okay.
And then we'll go ahead and now, for something like this, do you have some heat tape over there by any chance?
Oh. Is this it?
No.
Nope.
For you.
Alrighty.
So here you go. What this is, it's kind of sounds like what it is. It's heat resistant tape. This right here is little, it doesn't weigh very much. I can just imagine as soon as we close this drawer, just some wind catches it and just floats the little tiny piece of paper away. So we put a little tape just on the top or anywhere. We just want to keep it in place. And that's it.
All right.
Typically, you know, we always want to use a finishing sheet on top. This protects our heat press. It protects anything from really touching it. We don't want anything unsafe ever touching the top of that. This is an expensive piece of equipment. We're trying to take care of it.
Sure.
So close it up.
Alrighty.
There we go. So what's happening underneath here is, again, we're heating that polymer back up. This time when we're heating it up and it gets soft and kind of melty and we're getting, you know, like melted cheese and we're melting it right into the bread, you know, so we're melting that polymer kind of into the shirt. So the shirt, the toner transfer and the polymer are all binding together really well. And this way we're making sure that this transfer really never comes off of this shirt again. Once it's on for good and you can wear it and wash it and such.
Perfect.
So this only takes about 30 to 45 seconds or so. It depends on the material, but that's it.
All right, open it
So we
up.
lift it up.
Pull it out.
Now, what's going on here is that this polymer is still in that soft form, right?
Okay.
So we don't want to peel it off just yet. Otherwise, it's not going to come off right. So we can just take this off the platen.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be ginger, but you want to be careful, you know?
Sure.
And we'll put it aside and let's make the rest of the shirts.
Alrighty.
So the rest of the shirts are mommy daddy shirts. So we'll go ahead and I'll switch back to the larger platen. All right, and I think for these we can give the folks a close-up view.
Okay.
All right, Hannah, we're almost done. So you've seen this done before, but what we do is we go ahead and you grab a corner of the transfer and we kind of just refer to it as like rip it off like a Band-Aid style thing. So you grab a corner and in one quick motion, you just pull it right off the shirt.
All right, ready?
There you go.
Woo!
And we do that quick motion so you don't, if you stop halfway, sometimes you can actually like cause like a crease in your transfer and it just doesn't look nice and clean. So you want to rip it off.
Sure.
And let's go ahead and do the next one. So we're back at our heat press and we'll go ahead and we're going to finish our shirts.
Sure.
So if you can tell on camera and you can see in person, they look shiny. They're really smooth from being on that transparency sheet. And we want to give them texture so it looks like it's more part of the shirt.
Sure.
So let's go ahead and just even it out a bit. And then we're going to use a finishing sheet. Now, Hannah, you mentioned about using this finishing sheet. Tell me about that.
I like this one. I've seen it work before and I feel like it really mushes, it's like smashes the ink into, or the toner into the shirt.
Yeah, and it's got this texture, and if we can kind of, it's hard to see because it's so small, but it's got an interesting texture that you can kind of even hear too. And it gives a pretty cool look. I personally, most of the time I finish with just a regular finishing sheet myself, but a lot of people like this as well. And it's preference. What's cool about this thing is you can use this over and over and over. They last a super long time. Where these are just eventually, they're just going to wear out because it's thin paper. So get that even and close it up.
Close it up. Right. Look at that.
Yeah, you're right though. It does give, it gives a nice texture. It looks like it's in the shirt, that it's part of the shirt. Well, we're all done, and we've created some really cute shirts, I must say. We found some fun artwork to do here. And I'll tell you, for those of you who have not seen digital heat effects or heard of ColDesi before, maybe this is the first video that you're watching, I just want to let you know a few things. You know, for one, the digital heat effect system that we have here is a combination of a lot of different things, not even everything we talked about in this video. So there are multiple printer models as part of one of the main steps that you could do. We've got a cost-efficient way to get in, all the way up to a really robust way, you know, commercial type of high-end type of stuff. We have a proprietary paper system that's really designed to give the best results out there for transfers that can go on a lot of different things. It can go on t-shirts and wood and jackets and hoodies and koozies. You know, we've done tons of different things. There's instructions online for all different types of things that you can adhere the same transfer to. So you take that transfer and you could put one of them on a shirt like this, and you can take the next one and you can put it on a little wooden sign that hangs in a child's room or something like that. So it's really cool and fun. We also provide the training and support for all of this stuff. So you pick up the phone and you call and you talk to one of our pros and start asking questions. I saw a video on YouTube, I saw a video, you know, online or on Facebook, and I want to ask, you know, so talk to one of our pros. They'll help you get the right system. Once you do decide the system that's good for you, you can get into financing. If you wanted to, say, do a lease option for a system, you could also just purchase something outright, and then depending on how you want to invest in your business. And then after that, you're set up. You get your system. System gets delivered to you. We've got an online learning management system, so you can self-paced train yourself and other people that might be working with you. And then we've got a support staff here in the US, in our building here, where if you have some trouble after you've gone through your training, you call up, you send a message in online, and they'll go ahead and answer a lot of your questions to help walk you through. Maybe you couldn't figure out exactly how to get it onto this little cute little baby outfits, you know? So those are a bunch of different things, just recapping a minute or two of a little bit all-encompassing, but we're here to help you get off on the right foot. So speaking of that, how was your first experience actually making a shirt with digital heat effects?
It was pretty good. I'm not gonna, I went a little slow, as you can see, but it was super easy. I feel like, you know, no problems happened. Everything turned out really well.
Yeah, and people, oftentimes, you know, we joke about, because folks will say, you make it look so easy on the video. And I'd say it really was. It is. And that's why we have our staff here.
Sure.
Because oftentimes when somebody says, I couldn't get it to work on the shirt, or whatever, it typically is just one or two of their steps was off. And if you nail down the steps, the system is quite easy to use, and there's a ton of beautiful things you can make. So we have a lot of fun making things, and I'm sure whoever gets to wear these wonderful outfits will have a lot of fun too.
Absolutely.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for watching, and congratulations on making your first shirt.
Thank you. Woo!